chairperson of the Election Commission, those who are around here who were mature enough to know what happened. The process we conducted was very, very transparent. We had nothing to hide. The whole Liberian population could see through what we were doing. And that's the legacy we expect NEC to uphold. Let election be conducted in a way that the person who wins, the will of the people should be, respected, not to be twisted in any shape or form. We never did it, and we don't hope that that be the case.
Let's look at the time you served as commissioner for NEC and now. What's the difference you see?
Well, it is not left with me to say the differences. If you were big enough, you saw what happened during our time. And I can only say the record speak for itself. What we did from 2006 to 2011, the records are there. People who care to know about the truth will know about it. I believe we left a record that I am proud of. We conducted voter registration without any problem. We conducted election. Friends of mine lost election under my watch, Company Whistle. We're friends from 1976. He lost election when I was chairman. Lamont Nelson lost election under my watch. His wife was my deputy, Elizabeth Nelson. So whatever you do it with clear conscience, let the record speak for itself.
I guess you presided over an election that went along with referendum. Taking into consideration this year referendum and the election, how do you see the both going together? Are you satisfied with the level of awareness for this referendum?
Well, in the first place, we did not. The referendum we conducted was not done concomitantly with the election. It was separate. We had about 3 months in between. And we had a particular team that handled that election, the referendum, while we did the election afterward. We were not joined. So in terms of education, we did what we could. But we have a situation now where this referendum is being blended with the election. Of course, there have been opposition to it, but nevertheless, we see it going. So we'll wait and see how things will unfold.
So what's the message for peace?
Well, I joined fellow Liberians who believe in peaceful election. I think the president himself underscored that the process should be free, fair, and transparent. Election is not warfare. I think we've got to take that into consideration that go for election is not to go at war. You're not at war with fellow Liberians. It's the question of people making decisions. And you don't do that by using violence. It doesn't pay, and I think we should all be, be brothers and sisters. No matter what happens, someone has to win the election. Once the process is free, fair, and transparent, whoever wins the election, that be it. The choice of the people is important. We see what is happening in the U.S. Donald Trump, the most advanced democracy in the world, lost election that we all have seen through it. Yet he contending that he was cheated as an incumbent. So if the process is free, fair, and transparent, all of us can see through it. At the end of the day, the person who wins, that the choice, you can't suppress the choice of the people. You just can't do that. If you do it, it can backfire. So it is important that whoever the people vote for as senator, let the person be accepted as such. Whatever the referendum says, let that be, because it's 2/3 that is required for the referendum to go in to pass. It's even more than the election itself. Ordinary election that call for the absolute majority requirement.
You now have an organization run by you.
Yeah.
So can you briefly tell us what's the function of this organization?
Well, the organization form is a Center for Development and Election Management. Sometimes when you come from office, you still got energy to work. You're no longer in government service, and nobody in government service forever. You perform your role, you leave your record, and move on. So we thought of having this NGO. We can use our expertise as people who conducted election before. I have some colleagues with me, Jonathan Widow, Blamoncier, these people that took part in election before, we put ourselves together. We can be of help to the election commission in whatever shape or form that they want us to help them. We can help political parties. We wrote the CDC, we wrote the CPP, and we can provide the expertise that we have in terms of training, consultancy, capacity building, you name it. We have, there's no shortage of expertise if at all people need it.
Okay, as a former chair, you may mention that there were a lot of opposition as it relates to the referendum. What's your own take as it relates to the referendum?
Well, I think to me, the referendum was not a life and death situation. I didn't see the compelling need for people to push it to the extent that even where the Supreme Court said it was not prudent that we go ahead and conduct it. What if we don't have the referendum today? Will Liberia disappear from the globe? No. You know, the senatorial election, we see wisdom in the conduct of it. But the referendum, if no preparation was made, all the outcry from the Council of Churches, the Liberia Bar Association, and more importantly, the Supreme Court, then what was the essence? What's the rush to have this referendum?
So you think they really rush about it?
I believe so. You know, to the extent that you know, the ballots are all, you know, I mean, it's just one ballot paper, you know, long ballot paper, you know, I mean, it's basically clumsy.
So finally, from my end,
Yeah.
what you really miss about the National Elections Commission when you were chair? What you really miss?
Well, it's not amazing something as such. It is, I love challenges. Whatever job I do, I put my everything into it. And the rest of it, if you see that very nice street office, everything that there, I'm a handiwork. If I were not a leader with some level of creativity, we will still be in a rental hall. Everything there, I talk with the USA people as chairman. I ran after them. They built a headquarters for the election commission. I made sure we put a national warehouse. Everything that my handiwork on 9th Street there, nobody else. The hall there that named after me, Fromoyan Hall, I built it. You know, so when you have a job, leave records so that people can see. I think I did my part and left. You know, so you can't remain in one job forever. It's a challenging job because a lot is dependent on election. You know, I mean, I go observe election October in Guinea. It is important that we conduct election in the way that, as I said, friend lost election under my watch. Coming we said we have been very good friends. He's a brother. He lost election to the late Nathaniel Williams, our chairman. Complain. Then Blamo Nelson again. I've talked about that. So that's the kind of record I think we all should set. So that you do a piece of job, you leave, people can come and say, oh, this thing happened, that happened. We used to take people to the data center. We took political leaders. Mr. Weah, when he was head of CDC as a political leader, I took him there. Meton Tiaje, Eugene Nangbe, in the data center, because that's the nerve center of the commission. It's not secret society. You know, so you should let people have access. Once you have nothing to hide, that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Most welcome, gentlemen.